give us a kind of comparative analysis, if you can, of what should be vis-a-vis what is in terms of the structure, the system, the technology, and all the other variables that are required to succeed as a professional speaker on the African continent vis-a-vis other climes around the world.
You know, just to kickstart the response I will bring to what you have said, I'm reminded of the words of Warren Buffett, and he says, if you can't communicate and talk to other people and get your ideas across, you're literally giving up your potential.
I agree with him.
Now, a couple of words stand out from that quote. First off, communicate. Second is people. Third is potential. Now, if I would add another word from that entire quote, it will be the word across. And 4 is the number for balance. So let's start with communicate.
Okay.
As an African, if you have been privileged to do public speaking and you are trying to communicate and get your message across, one of the things that you need to make sure you do is to identify with a body, an association that will help bring some form of clarity or strength or scaling up of your skills, as it were. And so there are a couple of bodies and associations that basically help to enhance, or if you may, just to strengthen that skill set. And so that will be my first recommendation for anyone who lives in our beautiful continent that has 54 plus countries.
And wants to be a professional
speaker. So identify with a local body or a local club that basically focuses on helping you to shore up or strengthen your skills around presentation. Because the moment you begin to do that, your muscles in quote will get strengthened by virtue of use.
Yes. And let me also drop in to the mix the fact that when you associate with a professional of people with similar interests, there is a synergy that begins to build around you, and which tends to enhance your speakability. I actually picked that word from you, speakability. So
I feel very, very honored that you still remember some of this exciting
some 13 years ago.
And when we think about, some 13 years ago, when we think about the word speak and ability, speakability simply helps you to connect with one very key value. That when you develop the ability to speak, you really have developed speakability. And
so we'll come to all of those nitty-gritties. We'll come to those nitty-gritties. But first, I want to explore further your recommendation for those who desire to pick up speaking as a profession or as a business. Embed yourself within a speakers network, locally, nationally, and if you can afford it, internationally. And these bodies are all over the place. You only need to find out the ones that are very credible, that have your kind of people, and then embed yourself within them. What are the other things that one needs to do?
So I talked about, and I picked it from the Warren Buffett quote I just said, communicate. The second thing is you need to nurture and nourish your potential. Now, one very important thing that I think a lot of us take for granted is that our potential is potent already. But for it to be scaled up, for it to, as it were, experience wings that will get it to soar and fly, you need to make sure that you find what I would call accountability partners. And that is why taking your development to bodies that will hold you accountable is very, very important. Why do I say so? When I think about my work and my career, one very important thing that has helped me to a great deal is ensuring that I have people in the industry that I'm accountable to. And so those people who see me as somebody who they can give sincere feedback, And as it's been said, feedback is the breakfast of champions.
Agree.
And that has helped them to see me as somebody they can also recommend.
True.
So I'll give you an example. One of the top 5 banks on the continent of Africa that is also a global bank, and I wouldn't like to mention their name because they possibly are not paying you guys for advertising.
You can mention their names. I'll just send you an invoice.
So one of the top 5 banks was actually looking for coaches on the African continent to engage for all their country banks. And so one of the things that they did was they approached one of the coaching bodies on the African continent, because they know that that coaching body is one that is respected continentally and also globally. So what they did was they asked the president for that particular continent to please refer people to their bank. And so they then said, instead of referring people, how about the coaching body notifies coaches that they believe meet up with their expectations to contact the bank. And there was a specific template that was given to every coach that was given the opportunity to approach that bank for that opportunity to become coaching representatives for each country where the bank operates. Anyway, to cut the story short, this is what happened. I had the privilege to also apply. And after applying, I was told that, sorry, we have a lot already for the country where you live. However, the country you are born and have some work and expertise that you do business in that country, we do not have one that has met our requirement for that country. So we would recommend that you specifically seek to do work for us
from that country.
From that country. I was happy but sad. And here is why. It was a double-edged sword kind of thing. I was happy because even though I don't live in that country, I do business in that country. The bank recognized my skill set and the fact that I met their requirement to do work in that country. But I was sad because there are millions of people who live in that country who possibly would jump at that opportunity to be able to do coaching or speaking work. Now, what it also helped me to realize is that a lot of the people who are in that country have not been able to scale up their potential to the point where they will become a resource that could be sourced by that bank.